Okay, we're in the Dolfini kitchen today, and my wife is making apple pies, and she doesn't want to talk, so I'm going to go ahead and do the video. I wanted to share with you guys what we're doing with the pies with the apples from the tree. And so the recipe here makes 2 pies, and we use 14 apples that are cored and sliced up and peeled. And each pie gets a stick of butter on it and a cup of sugar. And then, as you can see now, she's covering it with a little bit of Wonder flour on each pie. We use the frozen pie crust as the bottom, as the base, and the refrigerated pie crust will end up going over top of it to finish out the process before it's put in the oven. So I kind of wanted to share with you guys the steps that we're taking now, because later when it's done, we want to show you the final product and show you how easy it is to make apple pie. This recipe has been in the family. It was passed down to us from my mom and my aunt. So, and it turns out really good. People rave about it, and we usually have it right around 4th of July. So we'll come back to you, and we'll kind of try to do a time-lapse video on how the rest of the pie is put together, and then we'll talk about it when it's completed. All right guys, we're back, and I wanted to show you before the rest of the apples get put on top. This is kind of how it's supposed to look after you've added the cinnamon and sugar and the butter. And then now the rest of the apples are being put right on top here. Here's the mound of apples. It does appear to be a lot, almost too much apples, but as it cooks, it really does cook down quite a bit. So these 2 pies are almost ready. There's a few more steps that we're going to capture here. So the Wonder flour gets sprinkled on top. There really isn't a measurement for that. You just kind of sprinkle it on there. And now we add more sugar. Not sure if everyone's noticed yet, but this thing is not for people on diets at all. It's made to taste really good, not to lose weight. She's adding 1/4 cup on top to each pie. I wouldn't recommend eating these pies every day. You may be making extra trips to the cardiologist. She's adding more cinnamon. So this is probably gonna surprise viewers at home, but we're adding more butter. And so we've used, I believe is it a full stick for each pie? Yes, a full stick of butter for each pie. And a full cup of sugar when we're all done for each pie. So 1 cup of sugar on each pie and 1 full stick of butter on each pie. And this next step is what kind of holds everything together. So what we have here is Pillsbury pie crust. These are the type that are rolled up and are in the refrigerator section. The ones on the bottom here were the frozen pie crust that you get. So she's rolling these on top of the pie, and then we're going to let them sit for just a bit so the pie crust becomes a little more pliable. So we probably should have taken them out a little earlier. Are you gonna try to just do it?
See if it'll look good.
And Kona's just over here hoping that a piece of apple fell on the ground because for some reason she loves apples. Pretty sure she likes pie too. And the apple's gone. Good job, Kona. Kona, sit down. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. Alright, I didn't ask you to speak, thanks. So we're just kind of folding it over and pinching it to the side here to cover it. Looking good. One more. Yes, adding a little more sugar because there just wasn't enough.
Nope. Alright, that one's done.
So this one's ready to go. The slits are cut in top of it to give it a place for some of the heat to escape when it's cooking so it doesn't ruin the pie. I'm telling you guys, this is some awesome freaking apple pies. She's adding the final sugar on top, making a few slits, and these are ready to go in the oven. What's the baking time on?
It's an hour and 15 minutes.
So it's an hour and 15 minutes on 350 degrees. And we will come back when the pies are finished. All right, after an hour and 15 minutes, the pies are done. This is the final product. Looks amazing. So one of the downfalls of these pies is they kind of fall apart, but there's just a lot of goodness going on, so we look past that. It kind of crumbles. All right, the apple pie's done and we're trying it now.
What do you think?
What do you think? You like it? You can just say yes. No big deal. The pie turned out really good. It kind of crumbles when you cut it, so it doesn't come out like a normal apple pie that you cut. But it turned out good, and I would recommend everybody tries it, at least doing it once. And let us know down below if you have any questions about the recipe. Thanks.